What's up, everyone? Welcome to an all-new edition of the CS Vlogs One Take Edition. My name's Chris.
My name's Ashtyn.
Okay, so today is going to be a little bit more of a serious video because the next two videos that we will be putting out involve something kind of serious and something that we are going to do because we've been dying to get back out and dying to do something productive and exciting and fun. As you all know and as you are all aware, we've been stuck inside due to the coronavirus. So we are finally getting some reopenings to things that we've been really, really wanting to do. So first off, I just want to talk about quarantine because I think we haven't really touched upon it. It was a little bit rough for both of us. I mean, for me personally, I love going out. I love doing stuff, and I also love to work, and I have not been able to work. How's your experience with being inside all day?
Stressful, really kind of depressing all the time. I mean, there's a lot of things that, like, one of the biggest things for me is that I really like to find ways to distress. And the biggest way for me to distress is obviously going to the parks or going to, I almost called it downtown Disney. That's not right. Going to Disney Springs, going to Citywalk, little things to just constantly just like keep me refreshed and clear my mind for the end of the day.
I'm the same way.
And get ready for the next school day or the next work day, whatever. And without having that, it's really been a big hit in my life because I'm like, I don't have anywhere to go de-stress. I don't have anything to help me. I'm not saying he doesn't help me. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that it's better for me to do a physical activity, get my mind completely off of something, and then, jump into it the very next day. And we haven't had that at all, obviously. So it's been really rough.
And one of the major things that happened to us is that she had to move out of her apartment in Orlando and move back home to Ocala, which is where we've been really for about 2 months now. And it's been fun. We've been making do with what we have, but we definitely miss Orlando a lot. I haven't been really in my apartment recently because I've been staying with her family because they welcomed me and they love having me around, and it's just been a lot of fun being in Ocala and being with the family and having that kind of family vibe in this time of crisis for this country and the world. Since I cannot go back to New York right now because New York has been hit harder than any other state in this country, and it's just been hard. It's been hard for my family. It's been hard for her family. It's just been crazy all around. But now we are finally getting some sense of normalcy. And last week, Citywalk at Universal opened. Now, we were thinking so hard about going on opening day, but there was also not a lot open on opening day for it on the reopening. So now that a couple more things opened up, we're going to talk through everything. We are going to let you know what we think these procedures are and how we feel on everything, because she and I have been having some serious conversations about it ever since the beginning of quarantine, of how they can do this, how they can reopen. And from our standpoint at Disney Springs, at House of Blues, where we both work, how could that be? How could that happen? How could we reopen? Because for her, she's in retail, and for me, I do the concerts. So right now, the concerts are not going to be doing. She's going to be going back to work probably before I am. So we're going to get to Disney Springs, but we want to first start off with Citywalk. So now let's read off the names.
All right, so full service restaurants and quick service food locations that are open. Auntie Anne's Pretzels, Bubba Gump Shrimp, Cinnabon, Cold Stone Creamery, Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville, Red Oven Pizza Bakery, Twosome Chocolate Emporium and Savory Feast Kitchen, and Voodoo Donut.
Now, the Twosome Chocolate Emporium is only the desserts. So only the milkshakes and the cookies and all that kind of stuff. There will be no restaurant service for that because that's basically all indoors. What do you think of these locations being open?
I think they're okay. The locations on here that say mobile ordering are Cinnabon, Red Oven Pizza Bakery, and Voodoo Donut. So I'm wondering how they're going to do Bubba Gump and Cold Stone. Like, are those gonna be where your mask can come inside and order? Or, I mean, Margaritaville, I'm 99% sure that they have outside seats.
Margaritaville, they do, and that's why
Yeah.
that's why they are opening.
So, I mean, that's fine. I know Red Oven has outside seating, um, but they're also doing mobile ordering. So, I mean, I don't know. Bubba Gump, do they even have outside seats?
No, they don't.
Yeah, and they're not even doing.
They
mobile ordering.
have what they call bay windows, so it's basically just the windows that they can come apart and open up completely. So,
I mean, my biggest thing, like the reason that I like, sitting outside and that whole rule is because of the sun and the way that they're saying the sun is kind of killing the virus when it's on you or whatever. So I don't know how true that is, but I like to keep that idea in my head when I go places, especially living in Florida. So I I like the idea of just being outside with whatever you have to do.
so now we're gonna read off the shopping for you guys, which is not that many
Honestly, personally, I don't think there's a lot of shopping in Citywalk.
in general.
Things
Well,
are always changing and
Yeah.
closing and opening, and
Yeah,
I don't pay attention.
there's a lot of closures. When the last time we went, there was a lot of closures of the stores at Citywalk. So, I mean, I don't think there's gonna be a lot of shopping when this whole thing is over, anyways.
I don't think people are going to shop, period, just because of how jobs have been affected and things like that, and people's money situations. If they would like to go out, and eat, that's probably what they're gonna spend their money on.
More than anything else, because eating is more essential than buying Minions merch.
Yeah. So there's only I would like to say 3, but they're including the merchandise carts outside, which if you've ever been to City Walk, there's merchandise carts. I mostly pay attention to the Halloween Horror Nights one, so when we go, there's a cart right in front, and there's a cart selling like bubbles and things like that. I don't think the bubble carts and the glow up bouncy balls, whatever, I don't think those carts will be open.
Yeah, I don't think those will be open
and if
too.
they are, I would be very confused. So the shopping things that are open are literally, the name of this is just called Airbrush.
It's the airbrush. It's the airbrush shirts and hats.
So yeah, I know, but their name was literally Airbrush. So Airbrush. Hart and Huntington Tattoo Company, only the retail.
Not tattoos.
Not the tattoo shop.
Because tattoos are not allowed in Florida just yet. They just allowed haircuts, and I got my hair cut the other day. So
yeah, finally. Anyway, and then the last one is the Universal Studios store, which I'm going to be excited to go in just to get a feel of Universal again.
And the theme parks.
Yeah.
That's the major thing that I feel like Universal did a good job about, to make sure that they were able to at least open up the merchandise store for the people like us that miss the theme parks so much. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun to see it. And plus, they apparently have mask and hand sanitizer for sale.
Yeah, they do.
So that will be very interesting.
And I just said, people aren't going to want to spend money, but I did see they were selling Trolls things.
She's a big Trolls fan. She's a big Trolls fan.
I may come out of there with something. Don't know what, but something.
So last thing we're going to talk about is the entertainment, which is only one thing that will be open.
One thing. But it's a good thing because, like I said, being out in the sun, it makes me feel better about it. And it is the Hollywood Drive-In Golf.
Which is very, very cool because it's a physical activity. It gives people a chance to at least move around and not be all cooped up. But the one thing I kind of don't like about it is that you have to wear the mask still. I mean, I know that's kind of required when you go into Universal, which we'll get into next. But I just hate that you're going to have to wear the mask during the sport.
I mean, yeah, but I feel like it's one of the safer options right now for entertainment because, I mean, even when you mini golf normally, you're not around people. You're not, you can't be right
You're
behind
in your
the
party.
person. Yeah, like you're in your own. You're doing your own thing. And they did set rules in place for still being in your own area. But I feel like that's just kind of a given when you're mini golfing. So I feel like people are just gonna be so excited that something's open.
Yeah.
So I definitely think mini golf was the right move.
I think it's a very good idea for Universal too. Next, we're going to talk about the procedures to get into Universal and what is included when you go. Go right ahead.
So they're doing self-parking. It's complimentary. So usually when the park is open, it's free parking after 6. They can't charge people for parking right now.
Number one, because the theme parks aren't open.
Yeah.
Number two, they are limiting the number of hours that you're in Citywalk right now. So what's the point of paying $25 for parking or $26 for parking if you're only there for Citywalk, and usually after 6 it's free?
Yeah. So they're kind of losing out on the 2 hours, but it's just better that way, I think. Also, there's no valet parking, obviously.
At the current moment. They say at the current moment, according to the website.
So that's even before you get it.
Yeah.
Once you, I'm guessing, hit a certain spot or get out of your vehicle, I don't really know the exact time, you have to wear a face mask. That's required for everyone. There's no age limit on here that I see. And this is on their website. So I'm guessing, obviously, infants, but this says everyone, so we'll just assume everyone. After you put your face mask on, your temperature is going to be checked. And if you have a temperature of 100.4 degrees or greater, you cannot come in. And I believe that if they're following kind of the Disney rules too, no one in your party can come in either. So that doesn't say that on here. That's just kind of my guess. They want you to wash your hands often, and from some videos that we've seen, I think there's more hand washing stations. Social distancing, so 6 feet and 2 meters between your party and others, and there's floor markings all the way from the parking garage, I'm guessing just all the way down Citywalk, and in the stores, restaurants, to keep people away. And then this last one, avoid contact with people who are sick.
Which is a quick PSA for you guys. If you are sick,
please
don't go out.
Please
and
don't.
If you do get sick at Citywalk or on your way to Citywalk, go home.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to be mean about it and whatever, but we're in the fact of the matter that you got to just stay home if you're sick. And if you are feeling sick, you stay home also. If we were not feeling well on Tuesday, we would not go on Tuesday, which we are planning to do.
Yeah, no.
So
I would not go under any circumstances if I did not feel well on Tuesday morning. Even if you wake up Tuesday morning, you feel great, and by the time you're ready to go to Citywalk, you feel awful, please don't go.
You're going to put a lot of people at risk, and you're going to put yourself at risk to get even more sick. And we just don't know how the state of the world is right now with the whole coronavirus. I haven't heard of anything like bad as far as any further news on how it's been doing or what the state of the decline of it. I don't know, because it's been very positive news coming out of Disney, Universal, and the Central Florida area already. So
things are opening, and I want them to progress and keep
opening.
So just for our safety, for your safety, for everyone's sanity of getting things open, just please be careful.
Please follow the rules.
Think you feel well enough. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just we're getting back to normalcy finally, and we just want to reiterate, please stay home if you're sick, please wash your hands, please use hand sanitizing stations, and please just follow the rules that everyone's putting in place right now, because it's not going to happen forever. Trust me, you won't have to wear this forever in the theme parks or in Citywalk or in Disney Springs. It's going to be just temporary. It will happen for now, but not for the rest of your life. Trust me, it won't. Talk about Disney Springs, our home, technically speaking, because we do work at Disney Springs.
I feel like I live there.
We feel like we lived
all
at
the
Disney
time.
all the time, though.
But yeah.
So we're gonna talk first about what will reopen on the 20th, and then we'll get into what is not opening, which is overwhelmingly a lot of stores.
Yeah.
So go right ahead.
So these are all third-party establishments that are opening on May 20th. For the most part, no, it is all restaurants. So you have Planet Hollywood, Earl of Sandwich, Chicken Guy, Four Rivers Cantina Barbacoa, Joffrey's Coffee, The Polite Pig, Yasaki, I'm sorry if I messed these up, Wine Bar George, STK Orlando, Wolfgang Puck Bar and Grill, Frontera Cosino, Aaron McKenna's Bakery NYC, Sunshine Churros, and Haagen-Dazs Ice Cream.
Which seems like it's a good amount of stuff to reopen, but then you take a look at what is not opening, which is a little overwhelming. Plus, all the Disney stuff will not be opening on the 20th. They will be reopening on the 27th, though, which is actually, believe it or not, after Memorial Day. People are like, oh, it's going to open up for Memorial Day. We are not open. So far, Disney Disney stores and Disney owned places will not be reopening for Memorial Day weekend, which is a little bit of a bummer, but we know that a couple days later it will be reopening to the public. So go forward a little bit on that. And there we go. So now here's everything that will not be reopening, all the third party at least, right? Yeah, it's all the third party.
Well, these are establishments with no reopening date. So they have not said anything about any date. And this was just recorded May 16th. So, like what? A day ago.
Yeah.
All right. So, Ghirardelli, Rainforest Cafe, T-Rex Cafe, Starbucks, Wetzel's Pretzels, AMC 24 Dine-In Theaters, Cityworks Eatery, Haleo, Pepe, Splitsville Luxury Lanes, Stargazers Bar, The Boathouse, Raglan Road, Irish Pub, Cookies of Dublin, House of Blues, Paddlefish, Paradiso 37, Terralina Crafted Italian, Blaze Fast Fired Pizza, Chef Art Smith Homecoming, and Sprinkles Cupcakes.
Which a lot of these places that we have mentioned, in particular, Splitsville, have made it very, very clear that they are firing most of their staff, which is basically all of their staff, because all of them are not getting paid and they're not getting furloughed, which that means they had to go on unemployment for almost everything. They lost all their benefits and whatever. And a couple other places were like that too. I think it was T-Rex and Rainforest, which are owned by the same company, which I don't know what the actual company name is, but they also got laid off completely with no furlough and everything. So they lost all their benefits and they lost their jobs as well. So they are definitely not reopening anytime soon. I don't even see them reopening into the summer because of how everything went down for that. Like that was like a little crazy. Like when we first read the article, it was like, wow, they just like literally just shut them down basically. So so now I feel like it's the right time to talk about House of Blues, which is where we both work. We do not speak for the company, by the way, at all. We are just speaking from what we've heard and what is right to say on camera. I just had a work meeting the other day myself, and my boss said we do not know because on my end, we don't know when concerts will be able to return to full capacity. Right now, we're about to enter in Florida, at least in the Central Florida region anyways, we're about to enter phase 2 from what I understand. So phase 2 is smaller venues and everything like that. House of Blues is a very small venue, but it still does not meet the requirements. I think movie theaters can open back up in this phase 2. So maybe in the next week or 2 weeks, we can hear about AMC being added to that list of stuff that can reopen. And the Cinemark or Cinemax or whatever it is at Citywalk, which right now I feel like it's a good time to maybe start thinking about reopening movie theaters, even though the people are really pushing for that drive-in movie theater comeback. As far as the case of Disney Springs and Universal, they cannot like turn their theaters into drive-ins. So
Yeah.
we've been going to the drive-in, by the way, on a side note. We've been going to the Ocala drive-in, which has been all over the news, all across the country, which has been really, really fun to be a part of that and seeing all the stuff that's been going on over there. We've been seeing great movies. We saw Trolls over there. That was really good. We saw The Invisible Man. What else did we see? We saw
We
Doolittle.
saw The Hunt. We saw Doolittle. We saw Sonic the Hedgehog, which we loved. Like,
Sonic the Hedgehog is
oh
a
my
very underrated
gosh.
movie, even though everyone was like, it's gonna.
Everyone can hate on it, but it was a good
Yeah,
movie.
it was a great movie. We loved it. We want to watch it again.
Yeah.
So back to Disney Springs news. Um, I don't know. I mean, House of Blues is a very delicate situation right now because we are owned by one of the biggest companies for entertainment, Live Nation. Everything is owned by Live Nation in House of Blues, in our House of Blues at least. So whatever happens to me has been happening to her. So the fact of the matter is, we don't know when we're going to return. And I'm going to let you speak on the retail side and how do you feel about the retail stuff?
I've been saying the whole time that I just don't really know if we were to open when I heard Disney Springs was opening on the 20th. I kind of had a little panic because I was like, how in the world is my job going to follow these rules, regulations? We're in such a small store. We're not out in the open, so no sun. And people just in any retail store, they're just touching and spreading and just like making me crazy. And so I've just constantly said I have no idea how this is gonna work. I have no idea. I've tried to come up with plans in my head because my coworkers, we have had calls, but it's just, oh, how are you? How's everyone doing? No work related calls at all.
Which my calls
So
weren't work related either, but all of my coworkers are very eager to get back to work. We love what we do every single day, and we're just all very eager. But yeah,
we really haven't had any updates at all for retail, and I'm racking my brain at how things could open or should open, or if we should just not for a little bit, because I just have no idea how we're going to. Um, and it just goes back to like we mostly sell stuff that people don't need, people want. Um, and it goes back to me saying I don't see a lot of people eager to get into retail stores right now, especially if it's just locals. Um, and if they are going out to spend money, they probably have a budget and they probably just want food, and that's what they want to spend their money on because food is, essential. You have to have it.
yeah,
You don't have to have the high end stuff, but if you want to, it's available. So I've just been saying the same thing about the store that I just really don't know. I don't think it's a good idea to open it right now um, because I just don't know how. I really don't know how for everyone's safety besides, the mask and the gloves, but I don't know. I really don't.
yeah. So once again, we don't speak for the company. We don't know, but once we do know when we're going to get back to work, it'll be great to know. But I mean, for me, I don't think I'll be going back to work for a very long time. I'm gonna have to go pick up another job somewhere else for the current moment. But I'm also trying to get my own stuff situated right now with me graduating, which will be another video coming up very very soon. Um, I'm trying to get into the theme parks when they reopen, and there'll be a lot of openings. I know that for sure because of the fact that we lost a lot of cast members due to most of the cast members, a good portion of cast members are DCP or Disney college program kids. So we don't have that going on right now, and it won't be coming back, I think, until the fall or winter season or semester or whatever it's called. So we don't think that there'll be any problem with either me or her possibly getting jobs
Yeah.
at the theme parks. Which
And we've had conversations about that too. Like, are we gonna go into that? And if that takes off, are we going to stick with that for a while? Um, just because it looks a little bit more feasible for us to maybe get a job there and start getting back on our feet and, being able to be in the parks still and do what we want to do.
Yeah.
And considering there's just so many DCPs that were just,
Let go.
let go, that we kind of think, Disney may be desperate to get people in there. So it's kind of a good thing. It's really sad for the DCPs. I know a lot of people that were in the DCPs.
Yeah.
And
we both had friends that were very, very, very into the DCP that were absolutely heartbroken.
And it was hard. It was hard for us to see that for them, and we know how much work goes into being in the DCP, and so we're not saying, "Oh, yay, the DCP's gone. Now we can get a job." It's just that's kind of how reality is right now. That DCP kids are gone, and we don't know when they're coming back. And if Disney decides to open, Disney needs people to work.
Yeah. But I'm just gonna also put this out there. DCP workers are the hardest working people in the theme park. Period. The end. I don't care what kind of argument you have. They are the most hardworking people I've ever met. So to try to fill their shoes is very, very hard to do. But we're gonna obviously try. And I feel like when they do come back, it'll be rewarding for them. But yeah, we are just both in the mindset of we are ready to work, whatever that may be, whether that is at Disney World or we're open to anything. We're open to anything right now, honestly, because we just want to get back to work and start having some kind of normalcy again. So
one thing I'm really confused about though is going back to Citywalk. Things outside are open, like the Auntie Anne's stands, and I don't know if it's because it is part of House of Blues and House of Blues is maybe a whole, and if one thing opens, everything has to open. But we have an outside area called the Smokehouse, which sells I don't know, like a majority of the food that you can get inside,
but it's basically like all the quick, easy stuff.
Yeah, it's a quick service, and I don't know, again, if it's because it was part of House of Blues and you can't open one thing without opening everything else, or if they just still don't think it's a good idea as a whole just to open one thing. But I was kind of surprised that it's not opening. But I don't know.
I mean, my 2 cents on the whole thing with that is I think it comes back down to a Live Nation thing. It's a Live Nation venue, technically. They still follow the same procedures that we do and everything. I think it was more because of Live Nation that they're not reopening.
That makes sense.
Yeah. One more thing about Disney Springs before we wrap up this video for you guys is the whole procedure about getting in and what all the rules are. Most of them are the same as Universal, but they specify a little bit more on what they mean by certain things. So go ahead.
So parking and entrances. So you still are self-parking, which this part we're really confused about because orange and lime garages are the only things open. There's no surface parking, no other garages, but it's self-park. So we still don't know, because they're limiting capacity, is it going to be a whole floor that's closed? Are we going to do each and every row? That's not really specified. But then it says you have reduced guest entryways, which is the orange and lime garages you can get in, the Hotel Plaza Boulevard pedestrian bridge, and the rideshare location. So then, of course, you have your temperature screenings. Everyone's going to be, scanned with the infrared light. If same goes for Disney, if your temperature is above 100.4, you'll be directed to an additional location for rescreening. And if you still have 100.4, you will not be in, and neither will anybody in your party.
Because I guess the major thing about that is that if you're above that temperature, you're gonna probably get the rest of your party or family or whoever you're with, just as sick as you are. So,
and same goes for employees. Yeah. Everyone coming into work will have to be screened.
Yes.
All right. So then we get into the fun stuff. Mask. So all guests ages 3 and up and cast members are required to wear a appropriate face covering, and you can, or no, you must bring your own and wear them at all times except when dining.
Here's the thing before we get back into it. Disney has been selling or pre-order on the Shop Disney personalized face mask. I think it's like 4 for 20, right? It's 4 for 20, which is a great deal, by the way, but there is not that much to offer. I feel like there should be more stuff, but I think that they are going to be releasing or sending these masks on the day that they reopen Disney Springs, the shops at Disney Springs, the Disney shops, because I think what they're going to do is they're going to start selling them at World of Disney when that reopens on the 27th.
I mean, they will probably sell them, and just like Universal, they will sell them. But if you don't have it prior to coming in, you probably can't get it.
Yeah, you probably can't come in.
So that's what I think about the face coverings is like, you have to wear them, but you will be offered another one if you feel like you want to switch it out or use it the next time or whatever. So they say physical barriers have been added in places where it's difficult to maintain strict physical distancing guidelines. So it says around cash registers or I guess relations, and I guess that's just making sure that you are 6 feet apart, and if there's a physical barrier, you have no choice. This is something I didn't say in the Citywalk guidelines, but they're also recommending cashless transactions.
I feel like Disney Springs and Disney as a whole, they're going to be really strict about the cashless pay. Like,
well, because I feel like Disney has more ways to do cashless. I mean, not right now since the resorts are closed, but when the resorts are open, your Magic Band.
Like, I've seen people, like the resort guests, pay everything on their vacation with the Magic Band.
Yeah.
Which I feel like that's such a good idea. Like, that's a very, very good idea. Less in your pockets, less things to worry about. I mean, yeah, I feel like you have to have at least your card or something like that. God forbid something does happen while you're in the park. But as far as like big bulky backpacks and purses and all that kind of stuff, you can avoid it. You can very much avoid all of that by using the Magic Band, but they don't offer it for residents or annual pass holders or whoever has a Magic Band, which kind of stinks. I tried to use it once, but they told me that it was only for resorts. I was like, dang.
Yeah.
That would be so much better.
Yeah, I really don't like the fact that it's only for resort guests because it's so much easier just for everyone.
Which is not a big push. It's not a big deal.
It's not. But they go in a little bit more detail, and they're saying, credit cards, debit cards, Disney gift cards, Disney rewards cards, and Apple Pay, Google Pay, Samsung Pay. And then here's a kicker. Guests may purchase a Disney gift card at select merchandise locations and Welcome Center to pay without cash.
Which is, I feel like that's a very, 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 very smart move by Disney. They are able to make people, whoever does have cash and whatever like that, and whoever doesn't want to deal with the credit card and whatever that, they can just buy the Disney gift card and just be done with it. Yeah. They can have their easy transaction or cashless pay and whatever like that, because I feel like they're trying to limit how much cash gets used at the parks. I feel like it's been what they've been trying to do for a very, very, very long time.
And I know that in World of Disney specifically, you can get gift cards at any time. I don't think I've ever been into a guest relations or a welcome center at Disney Springs, so I don't know if they already had gift cards there.
They did.
Okay, so they're not like throwing them
when I had to go get park tickets and stuff for my parents and everything, they had a kiosk of all the different gift cards and stuff, and it was around the festival season, so they had the festival one with the stretchy thing. They were able to have like the little like cute design on it, and yeah, like that kind of thing. Yeah, they had that as well, so that was pretty cool. I wish they offered those a lot like throughout the year and not just during festivals, because that's a pretty good marketing idea, to have your thing right there, so you can just have them scan it or swipe it or whatever you have to do with it. So
Yeah. So that's an option. And then it says signage. So directional signage has been installed to assist guests to responsibly move throughout the property. Additionally, ground markings will help promote proper physical distancing when queuing is needed at a location. And they also say training. So they are training cast members to engage with guests and promote physical distancing guidelines in common areas and queues.
so you know how Disney employees are. They're very, very friendly and very, very nice about everything, and they want to still maintain that, and they're going to do this in the park as well. I already see it. They're going to promote it with also being their respectful, loving selves that they are, and still promote what they usually do promote every single time you're in the park and in Disney Springs and everything.
And then again, it says cash training. So they're emphasizing strong culture of health and safety. So, you know, if they are like me and working at Disney Springs, they may be questioning, how in the world is this going to work? How in the world are we going to follow these guidelines in a retail store or in a movie theater, even though the movie's not opening? But if they're like me, they're going to be questioning everything. So, and it's stressful and you start overthinking and it just gets really overwhelming. So I'm glad that they're going through this training of, well, if this happens, you do this, and if this happens, you need to assure them this and say this. And still, it's going to be Disney. It's still going to be cast members how they always are, just very precautious.
We both been through Disney traditions in some form. The Disney Springs tradition is a little bit different than the regular traditions, but in the first part of it, I'm gonna just exploit it right now. I don't care, because it's not that big of a secret. It's, you know how Disney is. They're very loving and caring and everything. And the first part of the day is the Disney side of it, and Disney cast members come in and they explain how the Disney way is, and they tell you this is how it has to be because you are part of the magic. And right now they're trying to create the magic with the circumstances that they're in. So they're doing their best, and you know what? I applaud Disney for trying to still remain how they are, even during this time. So yeah. On the longer side, but this is the final part of this whole thing. Park predictions. This is the big question that everyone has been asking. Once again, we do not speak for any of the companies that we have talked about. Disney, Universal, or even any of the other ones. Icon Park, SeaWorld, any of them. We don't speak for any of them. We are just going to give you guys our predictions of when they could or should reopen. You want to start or you want me to start?
You go.
Okay, I'll start. So it's officially been announced I'll start with Disney. It's been officially announced by Disney that they have removed park hours up until the 6th, and the 7th is apparently when the next park hours are available. Of June, by the way. June 7th is the next day that there is park hours. So my prediction is they will open with limited capacity, or they will do the one park at a time starting on the 7th. I feel like June is a very, very, very good time to test out everything, because I feel Disney is trying to make sure that they are open for 4th of July. And as far as 4th of July goes, I don't think we will not be allowing any domestic visitors. Now, domestic visitors, I mean the rest of the country. The rest of the world, I don't know when that will be. Personally, I don't think it will be anytime soon that there'll be international visitors. I don't think that there will be allowed up until even like the holiday season, like Halloween and Christmas. I don't know. I feel like we are at the point right now that we just need to make sure that the locals are the ones that are starting to reopen with the precautions, and Disney can do their training and Disney can do whatever they need to do. So I think Disney's going to open up on the 7th. Universal, though. Universal is a different story. It was announced today by some sources on the theme park blogs and stuff like that, that there is signage and the markings on the floor right in front of each of the entrances to both parks. So, with that being said, my bold prediction is that they will reopen on the 1st because they are already preparing, and the fact that they reopened Citywalk before Disney Springs, a week in advance of Disney Springs, is a little bit of a sign that Universal wants to be the first to reopen in Central Florida. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with it. Is it a little bit too soon? I don't know. The governor said, why not just reopen? I don't know. I feel like, so once again, the 1st for Universal, June 1st for Universal, and for Disney, I say June 7th. Your turn.
I don't know.
You don't know.
My main concern is Halloween Horror Nights. Literally.
For Universal.
No, just in general. Like right now, that is my main concern. And I'm just going to be so sad. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do with myself this Halloween if Halloween Horror Nights is not open. So I don't know. I don't have a prediction for Universal. And I told him when Citywalk opened, I was going to wait. I don't want to rush. I don't want to really know what happened that first day until later. And then I will see if I want to go. And that's what we did. And I think it's going to be the same way when the parks do open for Universal, at least, is I want to wait. I want to see how it goes. I want to hear things. I want to watch videos. And then I will make a prediction on whether I want to go sooner or later. With Disney, I feel like
they've been prepared.
I feel like they are ready but not ready in a sense. And, in Disney, I love Universal, but Disney, that they strive for perfection every single day with everything they do. And it makes me feel better about going in knowing that they are going to try and do the most to help people and to still create the magic, but in a very safe way and progressive way. So I feel like maybe for Disney, when they do open, that I may not wait as long. I'm still going to wait. I'm still going to watch videos, read articles, look at everything, and make a prediction. But I feel like I may personally go to Disney before I go to Universal. And that may change. Universal may blow my mind. But I personally think that Universal will open first and Disney may not be like right on their heels opening, but I feel like Disney will be a little bit more put together.
Yeah, and we both feel the same way about that. Even with everyone was like Universal's going to open up first. Universal, I'm like, if they open up before Disney and way before Disney, I don't know how that's going to go. I really don't know how it's going to go.
We've had multiple conversations about, we love Universal, but there's obviously a huge difference stepping into Universal and stepping into Disney. And you could tell. Everyone can tell. So we don't know.
So she thinks they will. We both think that Universal will open up first, but Disney, I'm still sticking to that June 7th because of the fact that Universal has been preparing right now for the opening on June 1st. And if they do officially open on June 1st, I'm going to be very excited because that means some normalcy will be coming to Central Florida. Finally. We have a lot of things in the works. Once again, from the beginning of the video, I'm pretty sure I mentioned it. We are going on Tuesday to Universal City Walk. So then what's going to happen is that we're going to be posting a video of our experience at City Walk. And then when we go back to Disney Springs, eventually, we don't know if that's going to be the day after or 2 days after or a week after. We don't know. But once that video drops, then we're going to come back here to you guys and we're going to give you guys our opinion on who handled it better, or are they just in sync with it? Because I know they've been working together fluently right now with the governor and the mayors of Orange County and uh, Orlando or whatever it is, but they've been working together, which is very unheard of that they work together and work in the same room. So we're gonna have to wait and see. I know this was a little bit of a long video for you guys, but we really do miss making vlogs and content for you guys. So
just sitting here talking about going to Citywalk is making me excited. And I didn't think that I would ever be excited about going out, because at the beginning of this, she was petrified. I refused to go anywhere. I refused to let him really go anywhere. And I was so strict on my grandparents. I was like, you better not leave this house. I was scared for my mom. I mean, I was just a mess. And I've been more lenient, getting...
She's finally been going out.
Yeah, I'm going out. I do get a little eerie when I go to stores still, and I like to get in and get out as fast as I can. But being at Citywalk, being outside, getting to do things, I am excited. Finally.
Yeah, so we are very excited to be going back out and starting our usual content for you guys again. We are very excited moving forward on what's going to happen, but it's still a waiting game. We have our predictions. You guys have yours, and share those in the comments below if you guys do. We've been watching a lot of the Tim Tracker stuff. I mean, they are very, 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 very extremely cautious, and we follow them almost to a T, but they are not going back to the theme parks anytime soon. They made that blatantly clear that they're not going back anytime soon. So,
which I am not mad about. They have a baby, and that baby needs to be protected at all times.
Yeah, and I feel like they are just doing their predictions, and I know that some of the predictions that they used were very not Tim like and not Jen like, but the fact of the matter is they have a kid and they want to do what's best for their kid. And I mean, we would probably be the same way. We don't disagree with them. We are very upset that we're not going to get any content from them anytime soon.
It's okay. We like watching Baby
Jackson. Like watching Baby Jackson though too. So with that being said, we are going to get out of here. And I know this was a very long video, but we want to get this out there for you guys. And once again, we want to thank all the frontline workers, everyone that works so hard to make sure this country does stay afloat, even though we are in these uncertain times. So once again, thank you to the frontline workers. You guys are amazing. We love all of you. And we cannot wait for our next video, which will be at Universal City Walk. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching. Like, favorite, subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time on the next CS Vlog. See you guys.